by 11 points. So definitely, I believe the coach has emphasized that point to say the ladies have to get to an 11-0 scoreline before halftime. So we wait and see. Right now, Zambia looking a bit shaky in the way they're attacking. But even yesterday, we saw to say they were a bit shaky, and then they picked up the tempo. Will they repeat the same scenario, or right now the nerves have already kicked in for them to to maintain the 11-point lead? So, ladies and gentlemen, stay with us and let us know wherever you're watching from, and just drop a comment on how you perceive the game, your predictions, and let's just stay interactive as we get to read most of the comments in the comment section. So as things stand, we played 2 minutes and Zambia down by 3 points.
Indeed, David, a very slow scoring game so far. Zambia yet to find the back of the net in this encounter. It is still 3-0, 2 minutes played, 8 minutes, 32 seconds remaining on the clock. Zambia taking on Zimbabwe in the feminine category. Zambia yesterday overcame Zimbabwe by 11 points.
Yes.
So today, Zimbabwe, to be able to qualify to South Africa, they have to beat Zambia by more than 11 points in this 2-game series. As it stands, it is a slow-scoring game. 2 minutes played, only 3. And those 3 came from Zimbabwe's early quick point and a free throw on the foul line, giving Zambia quick fouls.
And interesting enough, if you look at Zambia's starting lineup, we are seeing the likes of Cholo not being in the starting lineup. And the report has it to say she suffered a muscle strain in yesterday's game. So today, if you can see on the sidelines, she's trying to keep warm, trying to wake up that muscle, and hoping we get to see her during the game. Now, Zimbabwe have turned out the pressure, and they score. Right now, the score stands at Zimbabwe 7, Zambia 0. Now, Wendy, talking about, Zimbabwe cutting into the 11-point lead. Right now, they're showing us to say they are capable of doing it. Like we saw from yesterday's game, they started strong, and today they've started strong. Okay, a player is down now from Zimbabwe. Not sure what happened. She's holding a midsection.
Yeah, I just hope it's not a serious injury. But building on what you were saying, David, earlier on, Zimbabwe has begun on a very, very positive note in this encounter. They are showing signs of not letting this one go. And that's, by the way, David, one of the key players for Zimbabwe. So we hope that's not a very serious injury. That's a starter that we're talking right now. Agent Zero. Remember, they've got 2 Agent Zeros. They've got 1 in the female team and 1 in the guys team. So we hope that injury is not serious, but as it stands, Zimbabwe seem to be more composed, better looking than they were yesterday, and they have command of this game. It is 7-0, 3 minutes played in this encounter.
And Wendy, what impact do you think Chole being on the bench has for Zambia? Because right now you can see a bit of struggles in the paint. So, let me just tell you, for Jeremiah, what impact do you see, Zambia facing with Chole showing signs of being injured?
Yeah, I think
Indeed. Looking at what exactly is happening at the moment, Zambia struggling getting those defensive rebounds. They're allowing Zimbabwe to get those, second chance points, and it's just sad that Zimbabwe can't convert from those second chance points. Okay, now we're seeing Chole checking in for Atembo Elibe. Now, with Zambia at the moment, they have Piri Sepo, Sholwe, Shanzi Taonga, Mwale Abigail, and Chaivela Katongo. So with the addition of Cholwe, are we going to see any change in the way Zambia will face the inside play and maybe trying to get their first basket, because they played 4 minutes so far and they haven't converted, and I feel to say that I think that they've only hit the rim once. Talk about Zimbabwe scoring. Right now, as we speak, the game is Zimbabwe 9, Zambia 0. This shows the kind of character and the kind of game plan Zimbabwe has. So right now, they're limiting Zambia to 0 points. And right now, even the inside play Zambia is non-existent. Looking at the way things stand, they only have a basket and the game is tied up at 0-0. Now, Wendy, looking at what's happening at the moment, what's your comment? Because right now, Zambia is really, really struggling to get the first basket. We played, this is almost 5 minutes, and Zambia have only touched the rim twice. Your thoughts?
I hope, David, the team is not suffering from a victory hangover. And I hope their headspace is in the right place, because in the game of basketball, as we highlighted yesterday, anything can happen. A victory today can turn into a defeat tomorrow. So right now, the Zambian women need to get their head in the game. They need to get in the right headspace. And remember, you and I yesterday were talking about one of the things that we observed about the Zimbabwean sides is that in as much as they may be down, they were able to maintain the composure and still be able to show that character in the game. So this is a test for Zambia. It's only 5 minutes played, David, yes. We still have a whole lot of a basketball game to watch and for them to play. But at the same time, they really need to find their way without Cholwe, who clearly we can see that her inability to start the game costed Zambia a little bit. But for Zimbabwe, I mean, it's a plus. And the question is, can they hold on? Because what we saw yesterday, remember, in the first quarter, Zambia led, Zimbabwe caught up. And by the second quarter, it was somehow, an evenly matched game.
Yeah, it went punch for punch. And at the moment, I feel to say the Zambian strategy needs to change a bit, because they're allowing seconds code. So they're allowing Zimbabwe to come at them. Because we saw yesterday when Zambia put full court press on Zimbabwe actually struggled, especially with their guards. And right now, Zambia is sitting comfortably in the paint, allowing Zimbabwe to get those people. And that's exactly what you're going to get. Shots being taken, players getting comfortable. And right now, the game as things stand is tied at 11-0.
It's actually 11-0. David, now you see, the issue I have, maybe let's get to hear from Coach Jeremiah. And interestingly, we'll start with the team under pressure at the moment. 4 minutes remaining on the clock. What is the message from the Zambian coaches?
Echoing what we've already said.
Finally, Zambia finds the back of the net. It is 11-2, 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining on the clock in the first quarter. Zimbabwe right now comfortably leading. Now, David, Zambia's defense yesterday, which was working, was man defense, full court pressure, man defense. We're not seeing that today. Why is that? Do you think it is disadvantaging the team?
Right now, I think Coach Mulenga is playing it safe. Looking at yesterday's game where we had Cholwe getting those quick fouls, and right now we can see she's even limping. She's having problems. There we go. Zambia gets their first 3-point shot in today's matchup. So I think Coach Mulenga is actually playing it safe, not trying to force Zimbabwe to play from outside. Because yesterday we saw say Zimbabwe had most of their points in the paint, and Zambia right now are sitting in a zone, in a 2-3 zone, trying to congest the, trying to control the board. So right now, I feel to say that's the game plan for Zimbabwe, or for Zambia, sorry.
And also, I think the homework that Zimbabwe has done, beautiful crossover there. Cholwe begins to register her presence in the game. But earlier on, David, what I was trying to say is, what Zimbabwe has effectively done so far is to cut the supplementary key points that we saw Abigail. Is it Abigail?
Indeed.
That Abigail was giving Zambia yesterday. They have a person that is running with her full court. And then they are also doubling on Cholwe inside there. Because they know that obviously the first defender on Cholwe definitely will be at the mercy of Cholwe. So they're bringing in backup there. And I think it would do good for Zambia to begin to find that extra pass.
I feel to say the X factor in today's game for Zambia is Seppo. Every time, even in yesterday's game, if you noticed, she's one girl that has good handles. Every time she beat a defender, there was always trouble in the paint. And I feel Coach Mulenga can do a good job, try and have Cholwe play as a decoy. There we go, the smallest girl on the floor, catching fire now. Abigail wins herself a trip to the free throw line. So as I was saying, right now they're putting pressure on Abigail and Cholwe. So Cholwe can literally be the decoy, push that big guy who's on Cholwe, take him all the way to the 3-point line, and let's see what Seppo can do when she attacks the rim. Because right now, every time she beats her man, she's always finding Cholwe in the paint. And it's more like, Cholwe is actually playing defense and offense. So this is something that I think Coach Muller should address and allow, Seppo to be the X factor in this game to bring them back in the game. Because we saw to say she's got range. She's just from shooting a 3. Yeah, so let her get in the game, drive into the hoop, the outside game. I think she'll be the difference maker in this game.
And David, for Team Zimbabwe, do you think that transition basketball would be something that they can also begin to factor in and employ more, looking at the fact that Zambia yesterday was unable to be able to effectively stop the transition defensive-wise?
Indeed, that's something that Zimbabwe can work on, because the whole in yesterday's game we saw to say most of their points were being scored by Siwanda and Kofi. So these are players that play inside. Again, Seppo tries the 3 and misses. So now I could say their transition game needs to be on point today, because they have the ability of rebounding the basketball. They've got really quick guys, like they're Agent Zero. She can run the floor. I believe to say this is a girl that's going to give them that that drive. Every time they rebound, they just have a move. Great move by Cholwe right there. Unfortunately, she can't convert.
Exactly. And David, one another positive thing that Zimbabweans are doing at the moment is taking care of the basketball when it comes to rebounding. So the defensive rebounds so far have been dominated by Team Zim, and Chiamaka is doing an extraordinary job.
Indeed, Wendy. Right now, Zimbabwe have come in and they're actually doing a very, very good job limiting Cholwe's access into the paint. And I feel to say Team Zambia at the moment, they need to, really explore their, transitional game, because right now we've only seen in 8 minutes they've only run once, which ain't Abigail a trip to a free throw line. So I feel to say they need to, attack more and shoot more from the outside. The likes of Katongo, yeah, those are the players that can actually stretch the defense for Zimbabwe with their outside shooting, their perimeter shooting. So this is something that Zambia needs to look at, and I'm hoping to say Coach Mula is echoing on that aspect.
Yeah, David, you're very much right, and it's good to see Chido Nyongo back on the floor once again. I don't know if I can call it an injury scare, but we did see her go, get to the floor, and she seemed like she was in pain. That is Agent Zero. For those that would be wondering who Agent Zero is, it is Chido Nyongo from Zimbabwe. She is the point guard at the moment, doing a phenomenal job leading the Zimbabwean under-18 women, who are so far leading 11 baskets to 6, 2 minutes 31 seconds remaining on the clock as it stands in Game 2 of the FIBA Afro Basket qualifiers here at the Nasdaq Arena in Lusaka.
And talking about team chemistry, the chemistry between Cholwe and Sepo, this is something that I feel to say Coach Mula needs to explore a lot, because these two players have been playing basketball for together for some time now. So I feel to say their chemistry, as you can see, every time Sepo gets the basketball, she's always going to find Cholwe. And when Cholwe gets the basketball, she's always going to find Sepo. So this is something that I think Coach Mula should actually, try and explore. And even just Abigail as well is, is something that I feel to say is something they need to bring into the game. I know she's been pressed, but they need to have, something that, is going to work for them to free her and have her on the basketball, let her attack the rim and, do what she did yesterday. Because yesterday she did damage with her speed. And this is something that's underrated, looking at her size. And most of them are just looking at that and say, okay, I know it's a small person, so she can drive. But yesterday she was a menace in the paint, and she gave most of the Zimbabwean ladies fouls in the paint.
So the battle continues between Rovimbo Sivanda, the second best scorer for Team Zimbabwe from yesterday's game,
and
in the paint.
There goes Cholwe. Katongo. Exactly what we're saying. These are the people that are going to stretch the Zimbabwean team if they're aggressive, and that's the kind of aggression, and I feel they need to have from now going forward.
Agreed, David. Aggression will be very key for Team Zambia to be able to find themselves in the game. It is 11-9, Zimbabwe on a scoring drought for the last 1 minute. Nyongo with the basketball. Nyongo throws a wild layup. Again, David, there goes your girl. Zambia under pressure. Beautiful and excellent defense there from Team Zimbabwe, putting Zambia under pressure.
Indeed, Wendy, we saw to say, Katongo got overzealous with her dribbling skills, and unfortunately she couldn't cross the center line. But great defensive pressure from Zimbabwe. So now, Wendy, do you feel to say Zambia actually doing a great job, sitting in a zone? Because I feel to say this zone defense, it's something that maybe Coach Jeremiah, you can highlight something on this. Because I feel to say, they're allowing Zimbabwe to, come at them and, just have that few day of, getting those clean looks and, shooting the basketball with ease.
I agree with you, David. And talking about the zone defense, I feel this is something that Zimbabwe can explore to their advantage, in the sense that the size matchup is on the Zimbabwean side. So with the right play and ball positioning, they could create one-on-one situations that they can exploit.
And talking about the matchups, Coach Jeremiah actually put it, rightly put it, says Zambia yesterday had a poor shooting game, but I feel to say they didn't shoot as much as expected. As the saying goes, you miss every shot you don't take. So right now they need to shoot all those. Shooting is, when you shoot, you don't make a turnover. That's an attempt. So I feel to say they need to, get that heat check up, shoot as many until they find the rhythm to help them when they come into the third and fourth quarter. They already heated up with those shots.
I agree, David, and I like the fact that you've mentioned that every shot, that every attempt that is not made is a missed opportunity for a basket. So that is probably where we need to see a whole lot of Zambia improve on. And I don't know if it is poor movement on the court or it is good defense from Zimbabwe, but we are seeing Zambia struggling to be able to move the ball effectively on the half court.
And right now there seems to be a confusion. I don't know if the referee called for a foul or it was an indication to say you need to adjust the shot clock. Okay, so that's a great refereeing, great spot by the trail referee, spotting the shot clock to be at 7. So now, getting back to what's happening on the floor. We've seen to say Zambia right now are trying to withstand the pressure from Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe at the moment have gone into a matchup defense, and they're putting pressure on Zambia. And I don't know how the strategy is like, but Zimbabwe at the moment they are sitting in foul trouble. They've exceeded the limit, and their pressure defense might or might not work for them in terms of taking Zambia to the free throw line. No, your thoughts on this? Because I feel to say they already have the lead, but they're just giving Zambia that opportunity to. There we go. Travel by.
Yeah, that's a travel violation there from Zambia.
Yeah.
Okay, so David, let's just quickly get to hear from another prolific coach, Green Buffaloes. He coaches the women as well. Coach Isaiah is in the stands with us watching the game between Zambia and Zimbabwe. Coach Isaiah, so far, what is your impression of this game?
So far, so good. Our girls are playing well. They're composing themselves. My observation is that whenever they're put under pressure, they're failing to move the ball. I think what was working for us yesterday was we're a bit quick in transition. We're scoring. Now it's like every time we have the ball, we are just looking at each other to score. So let other players also take up the responsibility.
Thank you very much, David. That was Coach Isaiah giving his 2 cents on the game. He is the head coach. For those that may not know him, of Green Buffaloes, both men and women. And Green Buffaloes Women's Basketball Club was the finalist in last year's national championships. So he is a supervisor of quite a formidable side. And his 2 cents are that we need to stick to what is working as Team Zambia, which is transition basketball. And the strategy of feeding Chonga the ball all the time is okay, but other players need to come to the fore in an event that we see Zimbabwean players double teaming her, if not triple teaming her.
Indeed, Wendy. That's actually a very, very good observation by Coach Isaiah. Like I earlier alluded, say Cholo at the moment can play as a decoy, because right now everybody's focused on what she can do on offense. So right now, let them pull Cholo all the way to 3.9 and let the others come to the fore. Like we saw Katongo, she's aggressive, and right now she's being guarded by somebody not her size, somebody smaller, somebody not somebody who can't even block her. But if Katongo can get the basketball and keep attacking the rim with what we saw earlier, I feel to say that can actually work for Zambia at the moment. Talk about ball handling skills. Seppo showing us that spin move, but unfortunately the defender caught up.
So you see, the other challenge I have, David, unfortunately, with Seppo is, you know, every dribble that you make, David, you and I know very well, must be able to amount to something. So there's no point doing 100 crossovers and failing to make a good pass, failing to go to the hook. So this is something that Seppo needs to really start working on. She'll beat all the men on the floor, but at the end of the day, it will not translate to anything positive. So this is something that I feel Seppo needs to work on. It is 11 baskets to 9, and it is the end of the first quarter. Zimbabwe still in the lead at the moment.
Yeah, indeed, Wendy. On the aspect of Seppo, I feel to say she can be the X factor if only she's given that leeway to say go finish on the rim. Because I feel to say this is somebody that can drive to the rim, but she's been limited and doing so many things at one spot. So I feel to say this is also attributed to, you know, the key being clocked. Every time she beats a man, she has to always retreat. So I feel this is something that Coach Mulenga needs to address, to say, guys, let's have Seppo open up. Let's open up that key and have Seppo drive to the rim. And if somebody helps, drop it off to somebody who's free. Let's have that extra pass, because right now Zambia is failing to string even 4 to 5 passes on offense. So this is something. This is something that, you know, is an indicator to say our defense is stagnant. We are not moving. So we need to have Zimbabwe move if we have to tire the Zimbabweans at the moment. But with the way things are going, Zimbabwe seem to be very, very comfortable looking at how Zambia is playing, and, you know, they're actually very, very comfortable with how they're pressuring Zambia, because they've seen to say the only passes that are happening are between Seppo and Cholu.
Indeed, David. So we are sitting at 11 baskets to 9 at the end of the first quarter. Zimbabwe still in the lead, Zambia trailing. And conversation, David, is going on in the comment section on Facebook, and I love the exchange right there, you know, talking about the kids. Some people suggesting that, you know, maybe they're fatigued. But I like the argument in the comment section that there's no way under 18s who are very young, energetic, and agile can be tired with only one game and be able to play effectively in the second game, David.
Wendy, you know, it takes me back, you know, back in the days when we used to play basketball, like at this age. Yeah, I truly agree to the fact that, you know, getting tired, because we used to play basketball from morning until sunset. So this is something that, you know, these guys need to be really, really conditioned, and fatigue should be out of the question. But for me, I feel to say it's just you know, the whole, you know, speech before the game. You know, especially when you talk to kids and you keep emphasizing the fact that, oh guys, we need to win, we need to win, we need to win. That's something that's going to put so much pressure on them. You know what I mean? So I feel to say it's not fatigue, it's just pressure on them. Not the load of knowing to say today is the final day and we need to carry the day.
Agreed, David. Zimbabwe still in command at the moment, and what we're seeing right now is, by the way, we need to get an update from Coach Jeremiah. Coach Jeremiah, what is coming up from both benches?
Well, the Zambian technical team was telling the players not to panic. They were telling them the game is not yet gone. It's a best of 2 series. They shouldn't forget that they won yesterday, and there's no reason for them to panic as yet, and they should calm down. They shouldn't rush. They shouldn't rush their shots. They shouldn't rush their offense, because they are well within touch of the Zimbabwean team. The Zimbabwean head coach was telling his players to keep up with the pressure, and he emphasized on attacking Cholwe, who is their best player. He told his charges to make sure that each time they have a chance to attack her, they go right at her. And something that has to be noted, that immediately after the first quarter ended, Cholwe went straight to the medical bed to get attention on her what seems to be injured knee.
Okay, we hope that knee will be kept, or will be able to afford her an opportunity to finish this game. But clearly we can see that Cholwe is not as aggressive as she was yesterday. So Zambia on the attack at the moment, but Zimbabwe cleans the rebound. Nasira fails to make the pass. Wild shot again from Seppo. Floater, she manages to connect.
Like I earlier alluded, Wendy, today I feel to say Seppo is the X factor in this game. You know, their main focus Zimbabwe right now, they're looking at Abigail, they're looking at Cholwe. So these are the people that should just be the decoys. Let the other players come to the party. For Zambia to have an easy game right now, these other players, you know, we have the likes of Rupe. Rupe, I feel to say, can shoot the basketball. But right now she's in the game. Look at that good footwork by Seppo. And you know, we have players like, that's the stretch I was talking about.
So for the first time, David, in this game, Zambia is now leading. It is 13-11 baskets. 8 minutes played so far. 2 minutes, played so far in the second quarter. And I know that the first quarter belonged to Zimbabwe. Just give us a rundown, David, statistically speaking.
So today, Zimbabwe have put on some great performance when it comes to, you know, attacking Zambia. So right now, Zimbabwe have forced Zambia to, they have limited Zambia to 2 points from turnover points, and Zimbabwe has 5. Scores from second chance points, Zimbabwe, despite rebounding the basketball as many times as they can, right now they're leading in the rebounding sector, but they haven't gotten any second chance points, and Zambia has 2. Fast break points, bench points, both teams are sitting on 0, and the fast break points, Zambia only has 1, and I believe that was from Abigail, who got the those 2 shots on the line. So right now, as things stand, I feel to say both teams are trying to figure it out to say, how are we going to approach this game? Because even just looking at the tempo from yesterday's tempo and today's tempo, it's like both teams are just playing it safe. Yeah, they're playing it safe. I know to say Zimbabwe has more to lose because they need to attack early, because right now they're down and they need to get and chip away from that, you know, chip away from that 11 points. So as things stand, Zambia right now leading by 2 points, and the scoreline is 13-11.
I agree with you, David. And both teams right now, when we talk about the rhythm and the tempo of the game, it's very different from yesterday. Yesterday, we saw so much urgency. We saw so much, you know, life and death, Cholwe on the attack. Unfortunately, good defense there from Team Zimbabwe, and it is no other than Kuziva Murenje who got that steal and made sure that Zimbabwe has secured the possession. So Nyongo is back, the first pointer for Team Zimbabwe, and there's another substitute for Team Zimbabwe right now, and it is Sibanda who is in.
And talking about their offensive approach, right now, Zambia have, you know, figured out to say Zimbabwe are using more of their post players. And beginning of the first quarter, we saw to say Zimbabwe were attacking more on the outside, but we haven't seen their attack from outside for the past 6 minutes. Oh, great handles by Abigail. Now, getting back to, you know, Zimbabwe, yesterday we saw their captain, you know, doing most of the heavy lifting. But in today's game, she's been so quiet, and I feel to say this is somebody they need to bring into the bench,
David. She's actually on the bench.
She's on the bench.
Lisampov is actually on the bench.
Okay.
So Sibanda is the one that is in, and she's the one that's playing 5 at the moment. No. Lisa's playing 4. Chiamaka is the one playing 5.
So this is something that I feel to say. And one. Talk about
Nyongo.
Agent Zero attacking the hoop.
Exactly. That is Nyongo for Team Zimbabwe over there, giving them the much needed score after a drought that started towards the end of the first quarter into 4 minutes of the second quarter. Finally, Zimbabwe have made a basket. It is now 13 apiece. 6 minutes, 37 seconds remaining on the clock with an extra shot on the line, which unfortunately was an air ball from Nyongo. Timeout for Team Zambia, and Coach Jeremiah, as usual, is on hand to be able to give us the information that will come from those huddle discussions.
And talking about today's game, Wendy, if you look at the points distribution, can you believe it to say Cholwe, the best player from yesterday's game, had zero points in the first quarter?
Wow. Okay. Clearly, it shows that there's something wrong somewhere.
Can we attribute it to, the mental aspect of her, strapping the knee? Because I feel to say her movements right now are limited to, the way the knee is more the mobility of her knee. So
100%, David, 100%. You can tell she's not as aggressive as she was yesterday. She was all out yesterday, both on defensive rebounds and offensive, rebounds, and also just running the transition for Team Zambia. She was doing quite an amazing job. But today we're not seeing much of that. It's because of the psychological effect, as you rightly put it. And to that, I want you to share a personal experience. You were injured and you were out for a long time. I know you're an old man, but hey, the impact is the same. So in this moment as a player, how do you psychologically strike a balance before we get to hear from, or maybe before you come in, let's give Coach Jeremiah a chance to briefly give us what teams are saying in the huddle, and then you can give us that experience, David.
The Zimbabwe coach was alluding to the fact that they've stopped crashing the boards offensively. The second chance opportunities have drastically reduced. He said they need to crash the boards a bit more, especially that they've got the size advantage right now, especially with Chole struggling with that injury. On the Zambian end, the coach told his charges to calm down. They've had some wasted offensive possessions. The last 2 or 3 trips where they had a lot of turnovers. So he told them just to calm down and just to go with the pace of the game. There's no need for them to rush. There's no need for them to panic.
So thank you, Coach Jeremiah, for that update. So now getting back to your point, Wendy. Yeah, I had a complete tear on my Achilles, my left Achilles. There's always that mental aspect, when you're coming from an injury and stepping back on the floor. There's always that thing where you keep telling yourself to say, no, I'm injured, and you're always going to, keep repeating to say, okay, no, I can't do this, I can't do this. But for me, I feel to say the mental aspect is, if you have a tough mindset, it's actually very easy for you to come back from an injury. Wendy, I was told to say I was going to be out for a good 1 year. That I was back in 7 months, and okay. I was running. So it was all about positive thinking, and it was from everybody's support.
Rejection, David there from Cholwe.
Yeah, it was just everybody supporting me and following, just encouraging me to say, no, you can still do this. And for me, I feel to say Cholwe at the moment, I know to say she's injured, but she needs to know to say she's Team Zambia. And she's carrying the country on her back.
I 100% agree with you, David. It is a battle that is more mental, as much as it may have a physical toll to it. But right now, it is 15 baskets to 13. Team Zimbabwe leading. 5 minutes, 33 seconds remaining on the clock. Zimbabwe on the attack.
Great ball movement by Zimbabwe, but unfortunately, they couldn't convert. Now, talking about Team Zimbabwe, I feel to say they're trying their ball movements on attacking the zone defense. I feel to say their movement, the ball movement is on point, but the player movement is actually the one that's killing the whole rotation. So the coach needs to, talk to the players to say every time you get the ball, every time you pass the basketball, at least 1 or 2 people should be moving, cutting to the rim, or just doing something away from the ball. Because everybody's just standing, looking at what's happening. Great defensive hustle by Cholo there. Her being injured, but being the first person to run back and challenge that shot and getting a foul in the process.
Yeah, so Coach Jeremiah, talking about the messages that coaches keep relaying to players during the timeouts, to what extent are you seeing execution?
Well, I also heard the Zambian head coach tell his ladies to maintain the 2-3. This will help them in rebounding, as they'll have a little bit more bodies in the paint than they did last time when they were in the man defense, because it seemed Zimbabweans were picking up rebounds at will. So he feels if the play is on, they'll be able to pick up a little bit more rebounds, because they have the 3 forwards down there who can be able to box out the Zimbabwean forwards, and one of them, hopefully, picks up the rebound and maybe activates the fast break or something for Zambia.
I'm loving the battle, David, between Nyongo and Abigail. I'm loving the intensity. I'm loving the energy that these two are giving off each other in this particular basketball game. And Abigail is on the line right now for Zambia after managing to outrun Zimbabwe's Nyongo, who is the offensive engineer for the Zimbs. For the Zimbos.
Now, talking about Abigail, you see, the aggression was just from seeing. I feel to say this is something that she needs to continue with. She's one person that's very, very comfortable driving to the hoop and scoring on top people. So I feel to say she needs to bring that aspect back into the game if Zambia is going to stand a chance of winning this matchup.
100%, David. She continues. She has another opportunity on the line, and she converts this time around. Substitution for Team Zimbabwe. It is a very strategic change for the coach, and we have Makombe, who has checked out. Makombe has checked out for Team Zimbabwe, who are on the attack right now. Chiamaka on the rebound. Zimbabwe secures the offensive rebound. So Murenje manages to book herself a trip on the foul line for Team Zimbabwe. 15 apiece is what we have as the scoreline here at the Nasdaq Arena in the soccer in the FIBA Under 18 Afro Basket qualifiers. It is game 2. It is all in or all out. Zambia has everything to give for this game to be able to defend home court and secure their chances of traveling to South Africa for what I believe, David, will be the first time.
Indeed, that will be first time Zambia will be traveling to South Africa and playing in the qualifiers. Now we see Cholo rebound by Abigail, and she puts in the floater. Wendy, talking about Abigail, most people, are cheering for her scoring, but they do not understand the level of difficulties in the way she scores. Scoring off a 1-2 layup 5 feet away from the basket is not an easy thing. That's actually a very difficult shot to make.
I agree with you, David. I'm talking about how Abigail is making it look simple. That speaks to how good she is as a player.
Speaking of Abigail, clearly we can see that she's the smallest player on the floor, but yesterday she had an astounding 11 rebounds and 5 of them were offensive boards. So
talk about having heart.
That tells you something about her hustle and her heart.
Yeah, to those that are watching us live, please leave us a comment in the comment section. Let us know let us know your predictions in this game, and let's get talking. I can see Twigs is very, very much active. Twigs, shout out to Twigs all the way from Germany. How's Germany at the moment?
Exactly, Germany locked in. Zimbabwe on the attack, but Cholo defends aggressively. She's beginning to find herself, David, in this game. Sivanda on the defense, but unfortunately, Cholwe manages. Remember what I said earlier on. I don't know what's really going on, but I think Coach Jeremiah needs to give us an update on what's happening to Lisa Mpofu. Lisa had quite a phenomenal game yesterday, and to see her sit out this game, this is something that we will investigate, and possibly Coach Jeremiah will give us a report on that. But so far, David, what we have is, I think, an evenly matchup again. You know, it's like these teams are playing almost to the same energy. But what I'll ask is, remember earlier on we talked about the zone defense, not really, or Zambia not looking comfortable in the zone defense. Do you think so far Zambia has improved in terms of executing the zone defense?
Indeed, Wendy. When you look at the first quarter, the way it was going, Zimbabwe was actually stretching the defense for Zambia with their shooting from outside. And right now in this second quarter, Zimbabwe are actually failing to convert. They're failing to make those shots to stretch the Zambian defense. And with the introduction of Cholwe, she has cemented the inside of the Zambian defense when it comes to 2-3 zone rotation. She's somebody that has been contesting, making it so hard for Agent Zero of Zimbabwe, to get those free layups. So I feel to say Zambia is actually doing a commendable job when they're in executing their defensive rotation. And if I know to say Coach Mule is playing it safe, but I want to see at one point Zambia extending their defense and putting pressure on Zimbabwe. Let's see what Zimbabwe will do with pressure being applied on them.
Agreed, David. Coach Jeremiah, any update on why Lisa is sitting out, who was clearly the best player for Team Zimbabwe yesterday, who had a phenomenal statistics when it comes to both defensive and offensive rebounds, and also she led in points?
Other than tactics from the coach, I really don't know.